Muslim Judicial Council Halal Trust has been delisted from the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, JAKIM, after failing an external audit for the first time in 19 years. A team from JAKIM conducted an audit on the Muslim Judicial Council Halal Trust during the 6th and 10th of November 2015. A letter dated the 15th of February was sent to the Muslim Judicial Council Halal Trust highlighting 3 reasons for the delisting. The letter states: A. Insufficient number of expertise. According to Procedures for Appointment of International Halal Certification Bodies Clause 6.1.4, which mentions that there should be sufficient number of competent Muslim personnel. This is to ensure that all the certification activities, including the auditing and monitoring, could be carried out effectively. B. Weakness of halal certification system. Based on the evaluation visit, JAKIM found that the Muslim Judicial Council Halal Trust has implemented audits without documentation as well as inspection tools. Point C, site visit to County Fair. JAKIM found that the audit program of the Muslim Judicial Council Halal Trust is not complying with the Malaysian protocol for the halal meat and poultry production. There were 3 areas of concern in this regard. The slaughterers did not completely sever the trachea, the esophagus, and both the carotid and jugular veins. Point 2, halal checkers are not presentable in the slaughter hall. And point 3, birds that have been slaughtered incorrectly or have died on the line are not recorded as such. Based on the above points, the panel concluded that the Muslim Judicial Council Halal Trust has failed to comply with JAKIM's procedures for appointment of international halal certification bodies. Therefore, the Muslim Judicial Council Halal Trust is no longer a JAKIM recognized body. On Sabahul Muslim on Radio Islam International, on Thursday the 31st of March 2016, I spoke to Shk Achmat Sedick, who is the director for the MJCHT Halal Trust, and this was his response to the 3 areas of concern that were raised by JAKIM.
In response to point 2A, in the heading is insufficient number of expertise. According to JAKIM's requirement, the training of slaughterers by management, we confirm that we indeed provide training to our slaughterers. Substantive training herein takes place in various ways, including workshops, symposia, etc., except that formal conferral of certification has not occurred. In addition, it must be noted that all the MJCHT Halal Trust inspectors are qualified religious leaders, ulama, except for 3 inspectors who are non-ulama. However, these 3 persons are well trained in the field of halal and they have vast experience in the field. In response to point 2B, weakness halal certification system, whilst the scheme states that the MJCHT Halal Trust did not conduct the specific audit with documentation and inspection tools, the MJCHT Halal Trust does have such audit documentation and inspection tools. However, JAKIM has a specific approach to auditing, and the MJCHT Halal Trust has adjusted its system with immediate effect in order to satisfy all JAKIM's requirements. In response to point E, audit finding during site visit at County Fair, Houcraft Farm, Durbanville, Cape Town, we query JAKIM's requirement for severing of 4 veins at the time of slaughter. While this may be required by JAKIM, none of the 4 legal schools of jurisprudence, Mazahib, state this as an absolute requirement. Given that this is an ideal requirement, the reality is that the legal schools of jurisprudence require that at least 2 veins be severed, that is by the Shafi'is. Others state that at least 3 veins be severed, that is by the Hanafis. Operationally, in this regard, the MJCHT Halal Trust always strives to adhere to the Hanafi position to accommodate this very important Shariah constituency. The requirement for the checker in a slaughter line as per the JAKIM definition and the duties ascribed to the checker is abundantly secured through the mandatory role that the health QA inspector must fulfill under South African health regulations. Non-conformity birds are not recorded accordingly. Our response to that is all non-conformity birds are recorded as a statutory regulation to all chicken slaughterhouses. Therefore, there is a record of all non-conformity birds at the chicken slaughterhouses.
I spoke to the theological director of the South African National Halal Authority, Maulana Muhammad Said Navlaki, about the importance of severing 4 vessels, and this is what he had to say.
I don't think there's any organization in the world whose standard would say, it's fine if you cut any lesser than 4. Although the Sharia, the fiqh, jurisprudential part of the various madhahib make provision for some for 2 and some for 3, but even those madhahib, Malaysia is predominantly Shafi'i, yet their standard does emphasize the severing of 4 vessels.
Overall, Shk Achmat Sedick acknowledges the recommendations in the audit, adding that the body would implement corrective measures. He said the trust would liaise with the JAKIM to determine what would be required to have the MJCHT Halal Trust reinstated. This is a second major setback to the MJC after the Orion saga in 2011. There has been outrage and anger from those who have been trusting the MJC with regards to halal certification. The credibility of the Muslim Judicial Council Halal Trust has been brought under serious question. Mufti Moosagie, Radio Islam International.